Folks, one of the things I do as a podcaster and as somebody that does a little bit of research and reading at times is I try to do opposition research. Watch a little CNN, a little MSNBC, take the stories they're telling them, spin them, flip them on their head, and usually the truth's right there, hiding in the corner. I do watch a little bit of the Young Turks as well. They are like CNN or MSNBC. It is a podcast channel, very big podcast channel, very successful. There's a lot of lefty lunatics over there. Don't ever go over and get in the comment section. You'll be in an argument instantly with somebody. There's definitely a bunch of trolls over there that are Trump derangement syndrome trolls, for sure. But at any rate, the Young Turks is as left-wing leaning as they come. They are the opposite of conservative news. As a matter of fact, they only have one huge problem that I have with them, is they're pumping this garbage like it's the truth. I mean, just lying out there. Lying, every time their mouth is moving, they're lying. They prop up Biden, they hate on Trump, and they spin every story. It's about like watching Mark Elias on Democracy Docket. Hard to watch, hard to swallow. But I do want to know what direction the enemy's going with their next plan and deceitful set of actions. And one of the things I was curious about, and Sink Yeager was discussing, was the X factor in this 2024 race. I'm not talking about Joe Biden or Trump. I'm talking about Robert F. Kennedy, the one thing that can actually squeeze votes from either side or both sides. Now, facts be known is Robert F. Kennedy is anti-establishment, like Trump. But that's about the only thing they have in common, because he is definitely a hard-nosed Democrat who has picked a hard-nosed Democrat crazy lady to be his VP pick. And I thought, why would he do that? Which brings me to my first opinion before I get into the video for you folks. I was curious how Robert F. Kennedy's hat in the ring was going to make a difference in this race. And I'm trying to weigh out how it's going to affect this state and that state. And I think Biden's uncommitted vote is going to damage Biden more than Robert F. Kennedy. But I was also speculating that there's got to be a reason Robert F. Kennedy's still in the race. He knows he can't win. Even as an independent, he's seen how the Democratic National Committee treated him, just like they treated Bernie Sanders way back when. So he sees the whole apparatus of the DNC is as corrupt as the Biden administration. It's all one big party, folks. But him knowing that he can't win on the ticket, but can only pull votes away from one candidate or another or both, he's in a really precarious situation. Now, here is my thought. Why would you continue to spend money, fundraise, set up like you're going to have a VP pick, like you're actually going to be a contender in this thing, if you're not trying to do something like win? It's not possible for him to win. We all know this at this point. He's not even going to be allowed in enough states to be able to get to 270 is what we're seeing at this point. The DNC have been working their jelly, trying to prevent him from being on the ticket in every way possible. I don't know why. They like socialist progressives, and he's got some really socialist progressives ideas. That's a fact. But he's anti-deep state, so go figure. That's kind of a hard one to swallow by itself. But my point is, if I was Trump, or maybe Trump has already thought of this, maybe Trump has already made the phone call, maybe they've already worked together. This is just my speculation. But there's only a couple of reasons Robert F. Kennedy's still in the race, and it ain't because he's going to win, and he knows that. What is he getting out of this race besides the fundraising dollars, getting to travel the country on donors' dimes? I wonder, follow me here, folks, I wonder if Trump and Robert F. Kennedy have had any conversations about how much damage can you do to Biden in the selection by running as an independent, running against him as much states as you can. Maybe I can work with you in the future. That would be a really sneaky tactic for Trump. But you know what? The Democrats have been playing sneaky tactics for 8 straight years, if not since Hillary Clinton was trying to take Trump out with Obama and Biden. 7, 8 years ago. So, just a thought process, folks. I don't want Robert Kennedy on the ticket doing any serious jobs for our country. As far as in any executive branch cabinet seats, I don't trust him that much. But I will say, if he can shave 5 or 10 percentage points off of Biden, and even 4 or 5 states, that's a knockout punch, folks. And Trump could use that. Not that he needs it, but we need all we can get. And if Trump could, or will work a deal with Robert F. Kennedy, I promise, stay in the race, Robert. We don't mind a bit. I don't believe it's going to hurt Trump like it's going to hurt Biden. And Mr. Cenk Uygur, who probably knows best, being a left-wing nut pundit over here on the Young Turks, listen to what he's got to say. He's telling the truth for once. And I think it would be great if anybody got in the comment sections and let me know how you think Robert F. Kennedy will affect this race, because that has been weighing on my head pretty heavy lately. And that's why I've been watching videos like this one here, even from the crazy side of town. All right, here we go.
I'm going to say a couple surprising things here. First, I'm going to agree with Kennedy on 4 things. Then I'm going to tell you why what he's saying is partly a trick. And so, be careful, about his tactic here. But then I have something even more surprising to say. All right, so first, let me tell you the things I agree with. The headlines are wrong. He didn't say that Biden is definitely a bigger threat. He said he could make an argument for that. And you've got to be careful with that. And you know what the mainstream media loves to do. They love to smear anyone who's an outsider. So boom, they took that as an opportunity to do that. So he's right about that. Number 2, he's right to be concerned about Biden being a threat to democracy himself. Maybe not for the reasons that he's stating, but Biden did support anti-democratic movements within the primary. The Democratic Party canceled the election in Florida. They try to keep out every candidate in North Carolina, Tennessee, etc. So they love to rig elections. Yes, I use the word rigged, okay? So you can go cry about it if you're mainstream media. How about you do your job and talk about how they canceled the election in Florida in the primary and just declared Biden the winner? So if you're gonna make the argument that you're a champion of democracy, you should probably try it in your own primaries. Third thing he's right about is that the establishment in a lot of ways has killed democracy long before Donald Trump tried to.
He's actually speaking the truth today. And he's absolutely right. Biden has been playing, the DNC and Biden administration has been playing shitty tactics since day one to try to keep everybody off the ballot, trying to kick Trump off the ballot, trying to put Trump in jail, trying to prevent RFK from running in certain states, not letting anybody else be on the ticket in states like Florida, suppressing the last laptop. There is so much, I'm going to go ahead and say it, election interference going on right before our own eyes. I'm glad to see that Robert F. Kennedy is fighting to do what he can to damage Biden by taking those few percentage points away from him in several states, if not every state. I would love to see Robert F. Kennedy be the difference of Biden losing in this race, by not by a little, but by a lot. Tell me what you think about that, folks. What role should Robert Kennedy play in the future of America? I guess that's my question. And how will he affect the election?
Now, how did they do it? They did it with donors. Donors now completely control our politics. And as I've explained in Justice is Coming, my book, there's been Princeton Northwestern study done over 20 years showing that if you're in the bottom 90% of Americans, your influence on policy is 0%. If you're in the top 10%, you have excellent influence on policy. Does that sound like a democracy to you? So we lost this a long time ago. Number 4 thing he's right about is they're constantly using fear, both sides.
It's not a democracy, it's a constitutional republic, if you know anything about your constitution, buddy. And he says both sides are using fear mongering and hate and stuff. I think that the political rhetoric has been ramped up for 6 or 7 years, and being an election season, it's only going to get more vicious, and that's just par for the course.
The right wing with the immigrants are coming, the LGBTQ people are coming, the Muslims are coming, be afraid, be afraid. Biden with, oh my God, Trump's a monster, he's gonna take away everything that you care about, be afraid, be afraid. So that's a lot I agree with RFK Jr. on. So the reason why I say it's a trick though is he's trying to have it both ways because he's trying to get Republican and Democratic voters. So he wants to say something that'll appeal to Republican voters. Or maybe Biden's a bigger threat to democracy. Come Republicans, vote for me. Then when people get mad at him and yell at him and he thinks he's gonna lose Democratic voters, he comes out and goes, no. I meant this, and this. So that's the old plausible deniability trick, right? Where you say something to get votes from one side, and then when you're caught, you say, well, technically, I didn't say that. But brother, why did you frame it that way? When I say it, I'm very clear about what I'm saying.
You say a lot of bullshit, but today you were actually telling the truth. Thank God for a little clarity at times. Maybe it was because they needed to air this segment in order to try to do a little bashing of RFK as well. The Young Turks are not ever going to support Robert F. Kennedy, and you could tell by the way they run the segment, they're definitely Biden supporters, probably funded by the Democratic Party, as far as I'm concerned. Who really knows at this point? Like, subscribe, and share to the Patriots. I just thought I'd bring you that little nugget of TYT head commentator spilling the beans on the rigged elections that have been rigged for a long time, just by process of how they're being handled. That's facts, folks. Not to include all the ballot harvesting and wonky shit they do every 2 to 4 years against us conservatives. They don't like it when it's done to them, though. They cry foul quick. All right, have a good one, folks. Over and out.